Hello students, I hope you are doing well, studying properly and learning all your concepts. The best advice. This is a piece by Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, former High Commissioner of India in the United Kingdom, who left from Mahatma Gandhi the depth and the healing power of magnanimity. This is a piece taken from the book Everyday Greatness, Inspiration for a Meaningful Life, which is written by Stephen R. Covey. The book unique collections of stories include some of the world's best known and loved writers, leaders and celebrities. The best advice I ever had came from one of the greatest souls in the world, Mahatma Gandhi, on a sunny afternoon. Most people pass through a period of anguish when their belief in humanity is at low ebb. I was in such a period. My husband has recently died. My deep sorrow over his loss was followed like no individual existence. Along with other Indian women, I had participated for the freedom struggle along with men, working and suffering side by side with them until it had finally been achieved, yet we women were still recognized only through our relationship to men. Now, as a widow without a son, I was not entitled to share any of the family property, nor were my two daughters. I resented this galling position. I was bitter towards those of my family who supported this antiquated law. At this time, I went to pay my respect to Gandhi and say goodbye before leaving to America to take part in the Pacific Relations Conference. After our talk, he asked, what did Gandhi ask? After our talk, he asked, have you made peace with your relatives? I was amazed that he would take sides against me. I have not quarreled with anyone, I replied. He said, I did not fight with anybody. But I refuse to have anything to do with those who take advantage of an outworn law to create a difficult and humiliating situation for me. तो गांधी जी ने कहा कि you will go and say goodbye because courtesy and decency demands this. He said, bye bolkar aao. In India, we still attach importance to these things. No, I declared, not even to please you will I go to those who wish harm to me. No one can harm you except yourself. I see enough bitterness in your heart to cause you injury unless you check it. He says, you are hurting yourself a lot. Just go and say goodbye. I remained silent and he continued, you are going to a new happy country because you are unhappy and wanted to escape. Can you escape from yourself? Will you find happiness outside where there is bitterness in your heart? Think it over. Be a little humble. You have lost a loved one, that is sorrow enough. Must you inflict further injury on yourself because you lack courage to cleanse your own heart? He said that you've already lost a person. तो आपका soul already टूटा हुआ है. Why trouble it more? His words would not leave me. They have me no peace. After some days of severe struggle with myself, I finally telephoned my brother-in-law. I would like to see him and the family, I said before leaving. I hadn't been with them 5 minutes before I sensed that my visit had brought a feeling of relief to everyone. I told them my plans and asked for their good wishes before starting on my new journey. The effect on me was miraculous. I felt as if a big burden had been lifted. This small gesture was the beginning of a significant change in me. A year and a half later, I was in New York, leader of the Indian delegation to the United States. Important. To us was India's complaint regarding the treatment of people of Indian origin in the Union of South Africa. Harsh things were said by both sides. I resented the manner in which my opponents made personal attacks harmful to India's prestige and to mine. I struck back with the same sharp weapons. She would strike back with the same sharp words. Then, after a distressing duel of words, I suddenly thought of Gandhi. Would he approve? To him, means were as important as the end in the long run. Perhaps more important. What if we succeed in getting a resolution passed by questionable tactics that injured our self-respect? Before going to bed that night, I resolved, whatever come my way, no words of mine would be lightly used in the UN. From then on, I lifted the debate back to where it belonged, refusing to retaliate to personal attacks or to score a cheap point. She would not say anything sharp and brutal. Our opponents met us on the new level, and from then on we argued the case on its merits, and we would not say anything disrespectful. Before leaving the committee room on the last day, she went up and she asked the pausing delegations to forgive her. I have hurt you by any word or action in the debate. He shook the hand and said, I have no complaint. It was good to feel right with him, but even better to feel right with myself. Once more, Gandhi's advice had saved me from myself. His words have helped me to retain perspective even in small situations. Many women, I imagine, share with me a recurring nightmare. Someone important to you is coming to dine. The guests have arrived. It's time to eat, but there is no dinner. A lot of people face this. You wake up, perspiring, relieved to find it is only a dream. But what happened recently? My guests of honor, the Prime Minister of Great Britain and Lady Aden, could hardly have been more important to me. High Commissioner for my country in the United Kingdom. I had planned everything meticulously, from the menu to the color scheme of the flowers and candles. When the guests had arrived and drinks had been passed twice, I signalled to the butler to announce dinner. But still we waited. When for the third drinks came round, I excused myself and ran down to the kitchen. It presented a shocking sight. In one corner stood a frightened little kitchenmaid, in another the housekeeper. At the table sat my cook, waving a ladle and singing, beating time with his foot. His eyes were glazed and he was far in some other sphere. The table was littered with pieces of chicken. My knees were too weak to support me as I could command. Why isn't the dinner ready? But it is ready, madam, the cook chanted. All ready. Everybody sit down, sit down. What did the cook say? Everybody to sit down. I was furious. It was on tip of my tongue to say, get out, you're dismissed, when I thought of the counsel that had calmed me in so many times. If I lost control, I would only hurt myself. Who would be hurt? Only myself. I pulled myself together. Let's get something on the table, I said. Everyone pitched in. The food served wasn't quite what the menu described, but when I told my guests what had happened, there was a chorus of surprise. If this is what your cook gives you when he's drunk, someone exclaimed, what must he do when he would be sober? The relief in my laughter must have sounded a little hysterical. My perspective restored, I realized that a dinner party, however important, is not the pivot of existence. To retain a sense of proportion is as important as being able to keep one's heart free from hatred. For all of us, no matter what our work, the advice Gandhi gave me is meaningful. No one can harm you but yourself. This is a text by Vijay Pandit. Gandhi's message to Vijay was not that it is wrong to experience negative emotions or feelings of anger, nor was his message that she should go through life allowing people to take unfair advantage of her. Rather, what Gandhi taught and demonstrated to Vijay and the rest of us is that we must not let the actions or words of others determine our response. Word meanings: magnanimity, extremely generous; anguish, pain; low ebb, in a weak state; resented, felt bitter; galling, feeling angry; meticulous, with careful attention to detail; indignities, humiliating; hysterical, displayed uncontrollable extreme emotion. Objective type questions. Vijay Lakshmi participated in the national struggle for freedom. Fill in the blanks. The advice Gandhi gave me is the only person you can hurt is yourself. This you will do on your own. Subjective type questions. Why was Vijay Lakshmi Pandit passing through a phase of intense suffering? Because she just lost her husband, and being a widow with no son, she was entitled to no property. Similarly, you'll do the rest. Abhay, writing skills. What is said about Indian women in ancient times? It is believed कि उन्होंने help तो करी थी, but what are they known as? Only a relationship to men. Grammatical skills. In each of the following sentences, replace each adverb phrase by adverb clause. He returns at sunset. क्या होगा? He returns when the sun sets. Similarly, you will do the rest. Fill in the blanks. How dash people were there in the meeting? How many people? These you'll do in the same manner. Fill in the blanks. The theory is dash incorrect. The theory is partly incorrect. Activity skills. Describe an unwelcome guest to your household. You need to describe an unwelcoming guest. I hope you understood this chapter properly. Read it again and revise all the questions to understand it even better.